Welcome. I'm Julie Bacon, and you're listening to the Mindset Coaching for Handlers podcast, a podcast for dog handlers who are on a mission to achieve big goals. Here I share lessons, insights, personal stories, and tools you can apply during your next show, trial, or test to help you strengthen your mental game and hopefully cue more consistently. Be sure to check out the show notes where you'll find details about the episodes, plus important links, including the link to the Dogged Planner and Workbook created just for handlers on a mission. So if you're ready to improve your competitive mindset, get out of your own way, and connect with your dog like never before, then it's time to get comfy, bring an open mind, and work your mindset. Hey there, welcome back to the podcast. Okay, this week we're going to talk about something, I don't know, maybe a little lighter, but I think it's super important still. And that is the topic of superstitions, jinxes, lucky shirts, lucky socks. I have a lucky bra, lucky hats, etc. And whether or not they have a place in our mindset, prep, our lives, right? Like how hung up we could be, can be, should be on all things superstition and jinxes. So this is a topic that I have a really, a soft spot, I guess, for, because I really, when I rode horses and well into my dog career, I probably would still say that I am a superstitious person. Okay. And I can tell you story after story after story about all the things that I do. And some of them maybe someone else would call OCD at this point because they've just gotten to be such habit, right? Like when I was riding, I always put on my right boot first. And I have a story, and sorry if you've heard it, but that I was sitting on my trunk one morning of a horse show and putting on my boots, and I was putting my boot poles in my right boot. And because it's back before the day we had like cool zippers and cool looking boots. But anyway, jealousy, I digress. Anyway, I was, and a trainer was walking by seeing me do this. And he was like, you should have, left is lucky. Your left boot was lucky. And I was like, oh my God. And it broke my brain. Okay. Just that little act of another trainer walking by and saying, left is lucky. So what did I do? I put my left boot on, and you know what happened? I had a terrible day. And of course, terrible being relative to, a 17-year-old kid. But after that, whenever I put on my boots, and still to this day, sometimes I hear myself saying, left is lucky, but right is right. And I put on my right shoe, boot, whatever, first. Okay. Now, that has just become a habit, right? If you hand me a pair of shoes, I'm just going to naturally reach for the right one first. So I don't do it with intention anymore. And intention is foreshadowing, our word of the day. But I don't do it with any intention anymore. Now it's just a habit. Okay. But if I were to break that habit or something would come in the middle of it, it would make me think, right? So I don't know, is that OCD or some sort of other obsessive behavior? We can unpack that at some other juncture. But yeah, so I did that for years and years and years. And then, in dogs, I had lucky hats. I've had, lucky bathroom stalls. I'm not too proud to admit that if I was going into the third stall and I had a good run in the morning, by golly, it was going to be that third stall all day. So am I twisted? Perhaps. You're now getting to see inside my brain. And, as far as jinxes go, not talking about something that you want to happen or, oh my God, now you jinxed it and things like that. I've definitely had those moments. And even at my national, I, wore certain clothes on certain days. Because first of all, they looked adorable, but mostly because I had some good affinity for them. And truthfully, when I was washing one outfit that was my agility outfit from my national, I was thinking, yep, that's the second time I've had a bad day in this outfit, never again. And it's really cute. So it's really a shame. And so, now, why am I admitting all of this really embarrassing information? because I think it does have a place in mindset. I think it is worth discussing in our mindset journey and how we get ready in the morning, maybe how we pack clothes or don't pack clothes, or, throw a perfectly good piece of gorgeous clothing into the donate box, which I did not do. I'm just going to wear it in practice. But I want to talk about it because it does come up a lot. And like I said, it is something that is close to my heart. So I have a new frame of reference for superstitions, okay? And jinxes, lucky shirts, lucky socks, lucky everything, okay? And that is intention, all right? I think that, it's like anything. If you believe it's true, then it is. Okay. If you believe that in fact is your lucky sock and it must be worn on your left foot and the other one, whatever, then it's true. Okay. Because our beliefs are everything. Okay. Our beliefs shape our thoughts. Our thoughts then shape our actions. Our actions, of course, shape our results. So if you believe it's true, then it is. All right. So I'm not going to take that away from anyone. All right. Because what we believe is true is, as I just said, the cascade is what is going to happen. All right. So what I have done in my superstitious journey is I have reframed my superstitions as intentions. And I might smile a little bit, or I might, kind of take a moment to take it in. But I have done so, right? And yes, even a recent example, this is all very fresh, right? Because I was packing and then, of course, unpacking from my national, which was at the end of March into the beginning of April. It took me a while to get through all the steaming. But I was revisiting all of that because of my outfit choices. And because I now think of them as intentions, I was thinking of packing and having certain outfits for certain days because I wanted to have a certain intention that day, right? So I have multiple dogs, as a lot of you do. And for instance, Friday was both scent work and draft. And so I wanted to wear a certain sports bra that is Indy's lucky sports bra. Okay. She got her mock and her POC while I was wearing it. And I put that on in the morning with the intention that there was going to be a special focus on her that day. Is that superstition anymore? I don't know that it is. By the way, she did not cue in scent work that day. But it was more about the focus, and it was more about the intention of the day that I wanted to have. And it was more a statement now. So it's gone from being this lucky bra to really being this reminder that it's all about Indy, right? Now, since I had 2 events that day, I layered it with a shirt that I had one of my favorite runs in draft in. And it was a while ago. It was 2019. And what's funny is that that particular day ended up being the best of times, the worst of times, whatever. It was a roller coaster of a day. Doesn't matter. Not relevant. But what is relevant is that shirt had the best of times, the worst of times in it. What I took away from that shirt and what that shirt reminds me of is the one of the best runs I've ever had with my 2 dogs as a brace team in draft. So sorry if you're not into draft. It's when Bernese Mountain Dogs do what they're bred to do, which is pull carts. Brace is 2 of them next to each other doing that. And they have to look like they've, know each other and have practiced before. So it can be a really elegant thing, or it can look like a train wreck, right? But I had one of the best days ever, one of my best runs ever with them while I was wearing that shirt. So is that shirt lucky? I don't see it that way anymore because, like I said, that some also really bad things happened that day, which doesn't matter. But what it reminds me of is the best run I've ever had with those dogs. Maybe not ever, but it was the first run where they were really as a team and they were amazing and they just felt like butter, as we say, right? So now when I look at that item of clothing, gosh, I mean, anyone coming in from the outside, by the way, is like, this is the most neurotic podcast I've ever heard. But I think we can relate, or I think a lot of us can relate to like lucky things and lucky things that we do, etc. So I'm sticking with it. But when I pick up that shirt, what I am reminded of is our ability as a team. Right? And it kind of choking me up a little bit because I'm remembering the good, right? And remember, we don't get better by beating ourselves over the head with our bad moments, right? We don't say, oh, you sucked with that. Like, they're terrible. Self, you need to go practice that 100 times and just focus on that and do nothing else. Da, 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 da. We don't actually get better that way. We do better when we take the feedback, we devise a plan to improve in an area, but we actually use our strengths to get better. So what I wanted to visualize that day was I wanted those memories in my head, right? I wanted the memories of us being a beautiful, like elegant, together looking team. And I wanted that as my visualization cue. I wanted that as my memory in my head because I wanted to remind myself that we've already done this. That we know how to do this. We have experience. It's possible. It's so possible that, look, here's evidence that we've already done this. Okay? So for me, that cool shirt, which I love a lot. It's actually just a good shirt too, but that cool shirt is no longer a superstition. It is a reminder that we've done it before and we've done it well. And we can do it again. Okay. So there's confidence in that shirt. There's good memories in that shirt. I wish there was video of that run. We don't do a lot of video in draft. We probably should do more. But, so now that item of clothing that someone would call superstition is really me just saying, no, this is my intention for the day. I am locked in. I am loaded. I am serious about this day. I know we can do it because we've done it before, and let's go, right? It's like, it becomes more of like a uniform in a sense, a uniform with intention because it now has all this weight to it. Okay. Now, for some of you who are blessed with like, I don't care, I just grab the top clean t-shirt and like I go with it. I want to live in your shoes for a day. Okay. I want to not necessarily question every item of clothing that I put on. I don't think about my socks. I don't, think about other pieces of clothing, but I do think about like, I have a pink hat that reminds me to lighten up. I have, a blue hat that reminds me that it's Indies Day, right? I have other things like that, and it all has shifted to intention. Okay. So I am absolutely not standing here and telling you like, go through your pictures, look at your shirts, only wear the one shirt forever and ever. Amen. Like that's it. No, I'm not telling you to like pick up a bad habit such as this. Right. And actually I shouldn't say it. It's not a bad habit. I'm fine with it. I will keep it. I will be this way probably till the day I die. Okay. But what I am telling you is that we can get reminders. All right. We can make a lot of things a reminder of how we want to perform. So often people are superstitious about something because they had a good day, right? Sometimes they're superstitious about something because they had a bad day. In either case, it is reminding them of a previous performance or a previous day that they either do or do not want to repeat. Both are, again, reminders, right? They're just reminders. All right. So if you can get that reminder from some other type of like talisman or, having the same thing for breakfast or just, for me, another one is like seeing a hawk when I drive. That's like a good sign. Like it's going to be a good road trip. Right. So like if those little things and signs are something that you're attuned to, then use them for your performance in the ring. Okay. It sounds a little crazy, but again, I'm not trying to make you like some obsessively superstitious kind of, you never don't even know how to go to the store again and ever buy a new shirt person. Okay. Because if you know me, if you've seen me in the wild, you know I love my clothes. And I love new clothes. I used to, like, when I was building my agility wardrobe, I would always buy one new item for the weekend. It could have been socks. Okay. We're not all like Richie Rich, but like, or it could have been like the new Lulu pants. Like, who's to know? That was back in the day. But anyway, I digress. My point is not to turn you into that. I'm not trying to open your wallet. What I am trying to say, though, is there are cues and reminders for you to tune in to previous good experiences. All right. And if something reminds you of a bad experience constantly, then bye, or it only goes to practice, right? Like that My Agility outfit for the specialty, it's a practice outfit, or a go out in the wilds in the world kind of outfit, right? It does not get to go in the agility ring ever again. I gave it 2 chances. I feel that's enough. And because, again, it has nothing to do with the clothes. It has everything to do with the memories. All right. If I look at that shirt and I think of bad memories, how am I going to run that day? What's going to happen? Right? I've already almost put on in the morning a built-in excuse to have a bad day. Nobody needs that. All right. So I know that I'm using clothing as, our example, but I think that there are other examples, right? Like you spill your coffee in the morning, or you drop your donut in the morning, or, all these different things that can happen, or you see a rainbow, right? Or you see a hawk while you're going on your road trip, or whatever it is, that there are all these signs and reminders, and we all get to choose what they mean to us. All right. We get to choose what they remind us of, and we get to choose what we think about when we do that. And I had a client ask me recently about if I believed in jinxes. And we were on a coaching call, and I paused for a really long time because, again, it goes back to the first thing I said, which is, well, if you believe it's true, it's true. Okay. But I don't like the word, right? So if someone says jinx, what do you think of? I automatically think a negative thought, right? A jinx is a negative connotation. And so if someone says, oh, if I order that, or if I do this ahead of time, am I going to jinx the outcome? Well, you know what I say about outcome and processes, so I'm not even going to go there. I mean, I might in a minute, but I'm not going to go there. But the point is if you think you're jinxing it, then you are, because you've just assigned. It's not that a jinx actually exists in the world. Like, you're not being followed around by, a gypsy witch, right? Who is going to, lay a curse upon your family. Okay. That's not what this world is. All right. But what it is you've assigned a concern, a worry, and you've decided that, well, if I do this, then the thing I want won't happen. What you believe comes true. Okay. So I don't really believe that jinxes on their own are possible, right? Because I don't believe there's someone behind my shoulder going, ha, 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 and then like a twist of the magic wand, and it's so, or I don't get the thing I want. I think that jinxes happen in that it's an outcome focus, right? If you every time you buy a new shirt, you don't queue. And so you think that you're jinxing it, because you bought a new shirt that you thought you wanted in the picture, right? In the win picture. And then you don't queue. You're focused on the outcome. It has nothing to do with the shirt. It really doesn't. Even my fight with my cool blue shirt that I wore at my national has nothing to do with the shirt. It has everything to do with focusing on the outcome. Now, it reminds me of bad outcomes. It doesn't remind me of my process goals, right? You see what's happening there? So when we unravel these jinxes, these superstitions, these lucky shirts, lucky socks, all of that, we start to find that it's not about the objects, right? It's not. It's about the meaning that we give them and the beliefs that we ascribe to them and the memories that they evoke. They evoke positive memories. That feeling that I get when I wear that one shirt that I was describing, I draft in, whatever, that evokes great memories, confidence. It evokes meaning that we can do this. Like, this is going to be a great day. It's all positive. Great. It's the same thing if I told you, like, wear clothes that make you happy. Okay? It's the same thing. Wear clothes that make you feel confident. Yes, do that. All right. So again, I've made this all about the wardrobe, but it can be about the actions we take. It can be about just the thoughts that we have. It can be about the pictures we look at or memories we think of or whatever. They become cues. All right. Like a shirt can become a cue. All right. Just like a coffee or anything, like going to a certain venue can become a cue. If you go to this venue and you have nothing but bad experiences at that venue, you're going to be one of those people who says like, oh, my dog doesn't like it here. Or this dog doesn't like it here. My other dog used to love it here. I like it here. I don't know why this dog doesn't like it here. And sometimes, yes, sometimes there's an environmental factor in there. But most of the time, it is the story we are telling ourselves about a thing or a place or an experience. And we are giving it so much meaning that we're carrying it forward into the future. All right. So my corny thing would be your baggage should be packed with happy memories and happy cue clothing items or other experiences and not full of your emotional baggage that you carry along with those things, right? I know it was a cheap metaphor. Sorry. So that's kind of my take on superstitions and jinxes and things like that. I love giving and receiving like gifts that are like, oh, I was just thinking about you, right? Little talisman or whatever. I've had some like little, like a key fob that someone gave me that I put on my crate, for invitational, right? Because it was just because it made me think that someone was cheering for me, right? Someone gave me this little thoughtful gift and now they were like in my head that, oh, this person's cheering for me, right? Or like I recently found this little doodad that fell off of something that was my grandmother's and like, oh, I carried it around for a while. I threw it in my makeup bag just so that when I would see it, I would remind myself of her, right? Same thing. It's all the same. All of these like memories, or these objects, we're ascribing a meaning to them that is either positive or negative. So we can do that intentionally, right? We can do that intentionally by reaching for one of these things, reaching for an object that reminds us of someone or a dog or a place or a person or experience or a really great performance. We can also do that by like flipping through our camera roll in the morning and watching the video from the time that we were freaking on fire and it was a great run, because that's the energy we need to carry into the ring. That's the confidence. That's that knowing that like been there, done that, did it well. Right? So that's what we're looking for. So grasping at some of those superstitions, which as I've vulnerably shared, feel free to make fun of me, can be us looking for empowerment, right? If you're digging through and you're trying to find that lucky thing, or you need that jacket, or you want to wear whatever that is, it's you needing like a little bit of a crutch, but it's not bad. We all need a crutch sometimes. We all need to feel a boost. We all need to know that we feel confident and we can do it. And someone's in our corner, even if it's our former selves were in our corner, reminding us, it's like, hey girl, you got this. You've done it before. You can do this. It's fine. You got it. All right. So that is my weird take on superstitions and jinxes and lucky shirts. And, it's funny because I no longer think of myself as superstition, though feel free to label me otherwise. I can take it. But it's funny because it's almost worse in that sometimes my clothing and some of that stuff has more of a meaning, because now I'm using it to call back to me and be confident. All right. I hope you've had a little bit of fun with this topic, but also can see how we are making decisions about our intention and our beliefs and what will happen even as early as when we get up in the morning or get dressed in the morning or lay out our clothes for a specialty, right? So have good intentions no matter what you're wearing and no matter what you're up to this week. I hope you have a great one with your dogs. Thanks so much for listening to the Mindset Coaching for Handlers podcast with me, Julie Bacon. I am so grateful for your precious time. Check out my Dogged Planner workbook and journal available on Amazon. Just search for Dogged Planner. I also offer monthly membership that's perfect for ongoing support of your awesome goals. Check out theqcoach.com for details, or just stop by and check out all the ways you can work on your mindset. And be sure to follow me on Facebook and Instagram at theqcoach and let me know how it's going. Finally, please share, subscribe, and leave a review. This helps us podcasters tremendously. Plus, I know I get my best podcast recommendations from friends. Thanks, and have a great week with your dogs.